Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm pissed. I'm angry at all of these large content creators perpetuating this massive lie on their tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscriber audiences. They are fabricating this biggest piece of fiction that the Pokemon singles market is somehow crashing. And what happens is their audiences, they don't go do the research for themselves, right? They just see the catchy thumbnail with the arrows going down. They see the title talking about things crashing, and they click, and they see the content creator cherry picking cards and cherry picking certain data time frames to make it look like their narrative is true. And they never ask any more questions. And then what happens is other content creators see that kind of style content getting views and getting clicks and them gaining subscribers and audiences. So they do the same thing. And then enough of that audience starts to believe it, and they all start repeating the same thing, and everyone thinks it's true. The problem is no one's doing the research and realizing it's the biggest piece of fiction I've ever seen. It's bullshit. It's complete and utter made-up bullshit. And I'm going to prove it today. And what this is, it shows you the symptom of what's wrong with society. It's the reason there's so many poor and middle-class people and so few rich people. Because the poor and middle-class people, they get scared to death of everything, right? They're scared to death of the news. They're scared to death of the market. They don't want to put money to work. They're going to hold it. They're going to keep it in cash. While the rich people, they're not afraid. They don't buy into the BS. They keep investing their money. They keep holding their assets. They keep growing their wealth. And the same thing happens in the Pokemon community. The largest audiences all flock to the negative YouTubers, and they get all scared, and they want to sell everything, and they don't want to buy anything. And then channels like mine and other channels like this, we have small audiences because, for lack of a better word, most people just don't want to hear the good news. They don't want to see the truth. They want there to be drama and things to crash and everything to be doom and gloom. So I'm going to show you today the real charts, the real data, the full story. You can make up your mind for yourself because it's going to be a very different story than what you're being told all across YouTube these days. And don't worry, I didn't leave anything out. We're going to look at vintage. Yep. We're going to look at WotC. We're going to look at post-WotC, mid-era, black and white, XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, everything. We're going to look at everything so you have the whole story of just how strong this market is in 2023 going into 2024. Let's start off with the Flash Fire Charizard, shall we? Starting off with XY. Well, you bought this card a year ago, which, guys, let's be honest. If you're investing, I think a year is a very short amount of time frame to hold something. If you can't at least hold something a year, if you're trying to jump in and out every 1 month or 3 months, then yeah, I'm sure you could take some massive losses here and there because you're trying to play the swings in the market. But at least a year is a pretty good start to an investment. $220 a year ago, $234. It's up to the 350s. One just sold for $350. It's about a 50% plus gain that you're seeing on this card in 1 year. Find that on any traditional investment. Silver Dialga from Phantom Forces. This was about a $150 card at the beginning of the year. Spiked up in the 200s. It's still selling at $205 raw. That is a 35% gain for the year. Not too shabby. Full Art Gengar from Phantom Forces started out the year in the 60s. Almost doubled in the 120s. One just sold for $109. You're about 90% up on your money this year in the crashing time of singles. Weird, huh? Mega Rayquaza from Ancient Origins. Started the year off at $100, saw spikes up to the 160s. Now it's still selling at $145.95. Now here's what I'm going to show you. Here's what your favorite content creators do to you. They don't show this chart. They show this chart. And they say, look, it's crashing, everyone. Run for the hills. Jump your stock. Everything's going to zero. And a lot of people just see that and take it at face value and believe it. But they never say, well, what about 6 months? Well, what about a year's time? How have we been doing? Oh, well, in a year, you're doing well, but look at this. Look at this. This is eye-catchy. It's BS, guys. You're 45% up on this card for the year. 45%. Alakazam EX from Fates Collide. Same story. $23 raw price at the beginning of the year. Spiked up in the 50s. Now it ended down here. You look at the sales data. It's now selling $40. Last one sold near mint. $39, $40. From $25, that's 60% gain this year. Now, looking at the 3-month chart, it's crashing. It was over 40. Now it's down to 30s. What are we going to do? It's crashing. It's not crashing, guys. Everything's fine. Want me to tell you the real reason? Let me give you a little lesson right here. You want to know why things come down after massive rises? Well, one, people like to take profits when they see massive gains on their investments. So that's why when things shoot up very quickly, very rapidly at a large amount, which going from 25 to over 50, it's 100% gain. It's normal to see things cool off, people take profits, and things drop a little bit after that. But that is not a crash. That is a normalized correction. And when a card is still up 60% for the year, that's nothing to panic about. Next up, Mewtwo GX is moving to Sun and Moon, Shining Legends. Started the year off, $80. Now it's sitting at 114. Sure, it's all highs in the 130s, right? So you can show a 3-month chart. Be like, oh, well, it's coming down. No, it's coming back a little bit. It's not doing that great. Well, if you look at this chart, you're up, I don't know, what, 30%? Now we're talking the waifu crash. Everyone's heard about that, right? The waifus are crashing. Watch out. Run for the hills. Well, this Lily card's still selling at $400. So a year ago, it was about $270. It spiked up in the 500s, so almost double your money, right? About 100% gain. And now it's fallen back to 400. So if you look at this chart, looks like it's crashing. Look at the year chart. Really see where you're at, 270 to 400. Well, you're about 50% up on your money. Not too bad. The Misty's Favor from Unified Minds, same story. Started out the year at $96, spiked up in the 180s, 100% gain. All right, so it went up 100%, and it cooled off down in the, it's still selling the 180s, 173, 180s. So it barely cooled off. You're still 100% up on your money on this card in 1 year during the singles crash. Rosa, full art. Look at this one. Started the year off, 120s, spiked up, 230, almost 100% gain on your money. So after 100% gain, it cooled off in the 170s. Okay. So you're still up. What is that? Like 40%, 50% on your money, something like that. And that's a crash, right? Because we look at this chart and we say, look everyone, it's crashing. Click on my video. Give me views. Subscribe to me. Everyone likes to hear negative stuff. Let's crash the market. But in reality, you're up 50%. You're beating every traditional investment out there. Latios, right? Here's the 3-month chart. Oh, things aren't looking good. Everything's cooling off. Oh, wait, is it because we're up 100% on our money this year? Could that be a reason? Possibly. The big tag team crash is still happening, right? The tag team crash. Oh, no. Well, a $130 card became worth $350. Almost triple. Almost 200% gain in 1 year's time. Mind you, another big lie that's perpetrated. The pandemic. Logan Paul. That's the only reason Pokemon are worth anything. Guys, we are 2 years removed from the pandemic. This is 2023, and we are seeing 200% moves in Pokemon. Tell me again how all the moves happened before the pandemic. Tell me again how Pokemon's dead after the pandemic. I don't think so. Another massive lie we can talk about later. But $350, now it's cooled off down in the 270s, 250s, something. No, there's a light play. Sorry. 275 was the last near mint. So $130 card is still $275. You are now over 100% up on your money in a year's time, even after, look, the crash, the 1-month chart, the crash. You're still 100% up after the crash. God dang it, man. Gardevoir and Sylveon GX. Here you go. Same thing. 90 something dollar card. Spiked up in the 200s. I don't know. You're 130% up on your money, something like that. Came back down. Now it's in the 170s, 180s. So I don't know, $100 to 180s, 80% on your money, whatever. No big deal, right? Arceus, the Algapalkia tag team, big tag team crash. Here it is. Here's the crash, guys. A $100 card became worth $225, and now it crashed down to the 180. So, in this gigantic crash, you only made 80%. I'm sorry you couldn't make your 100% this year. You'll have to do with 80. We're going through a crash, guys. And even the Hidden Fates Charizard, which we're told is performing terribly. It's not great gains, but it's up. It's up a good, 5-10%. Not too shabby for something that's crashing. Now we're moving to Sword and Shield, where it's really taking the brunt of the argument, right? Why does anyone talk about Rebel Clash? Boss's Orders. Does this not fit the narrative? Does this not fit the narrative of being worth $25 at the beginning of the year, and now it's selling for $40? Does a 60% gain on a Rebel Clash full art not fit the narrative? That doesn't fit the narrative. Okay, that's fine. We can move to the alt arts. That's fine. Blaziken VMAX. You crashed. You lost all your money. Well, yeah, if you bought it at the peak. But if you're an investor and you held it for a year, you didn't make any money. But guess what? You didn't lose. Look at that. Completely even on your money. So, okay, it's not a good investment. But, if you have a portfolio and you hold a bunch of cards, well, breaking even on some of the worst performing ones for the year, that's not too bad. Okay, so yeah, we've seen a downturn from the spike, but all it did was fall back to its original prices. Not too bad. Not too bad, right? Let's see. There you go. Lowest one on the market, 160. All right. The Gengar VMAX. Uh-oh. They forgot this one. This one doesn't fit the narrative either. $160 beginning of the year. It's still going for over 200. We're seeing like a 20, 30% gain here. What's going on? I thought everything was crashing. What's going on? Umbreon VMAX, right? Too many of them. There's almost 10,000 PSA 10s. There's way too many. It's overprinted, blah, blah, blah. Look, if you look at the 6-month chart, you lost all kinds of money. Told you it's crashing. Well, yeah, but for the course of the year, and 470s, now it's still selling in the 500s. I mean, you're up like 10, 15% for the year. I mean, that's not too bad for a crashing market. All right, now here's where they get us, right? They don't want to talk about Giratina, Lugia, the Crown Zenith. Look, here's the thing. When sets are brand new, 6 months, a year, 2 years old, the normal pattern of things is they start out really high and they trend down for the first year to 2 years. Why is that? Because that's when all the products getting opened. That's when the reprints hit the market, right? That's when all the hype is dying down. So it's normal for cards to go down in the first year to 2 years. This set was released the end of 2022, all right? That's Lost Origin. Silver Tempest was released the end of 2022. Crown Zenith was released in 2023. It's not even a year old yet. So sure, if you want to look at brand new sets, yeah, things are down, but they're not crashing. I mean, look, this card was $260 a year ago. Now it's selling for $230. One just sold at $250. What are you down? 5, 10% on your money? Is 5, 10% down a crash? If it is, I mean, hey, I think we'll all survive a crash of 5 or 10%. We're fine. Lugia, this is the one card I found that's really crashing. All right. It was $200. Now it is selling for about 120s. All right. So yes, this card is down about 40%. It did see a massive decline this year. But again, Silver Tempest just got reprinted. It's barely a year old. Give it some time to age. I'd like to see this chart in another year and see how things are performing then, because that would give us a more clear view of how this will perform once the set is actually 2 to 3 years old, which is when a lot of these cards are gaining value. Think back to XY. Think back to Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon didn't see a lot of its gains till this year. And don't say it's pandemic. We're in 2022, 2023 times. That's when Sun and Moon saw its biggest rises. Far after Logan Paul pandemic times. That's what happens with sets. They need 3, 4, 5+ years to age to see their gains. But even the Giratina from Crown Zenith, with all the reprints and these ETBs getting crushed down in the 30s, it's still rising in the last month. It's not crashing. Now, if you look at the year chart, it's doing what every new set does. Everything trends down. But guess what? It found its footing. It's found its bottom, and it's actually trending up. All right, that's enough of modern cards. Let's talk about the rest of the market. Let's talk about vintage. Shining Gyarados. How's it been doing? Well, here's the chart right here, right? January 2023, it was down here for a 10. Down here is a 9. Now it's up here as a 10, and it's up here as a 9, far above the lines of where they started at. Therefore, they are moving up. Therefore, there are sales happening of these cards. So to all my vintage peeps out there, yes, even the vintage singles are moving during this market crash, downturn, everything's doom and gloom, pandemic's over, blah, blah, blah. You guys see the hypocrisy here? You see the bullshit? Charizard, Skyridge, Crystal Charizard, all right? January 2023, down here, PSA 10, PSA 9. You'll see the PSA 10 is higher. You'll see the PSA 9 just a bit lower. Nowhere near a crash, though. It's pretty stagnant, pretty even. Nothing's crashing. Mewtwo Gold Star. Beginning of the year, it was down here, 10. Down here is a 9. Now it's up here is 9. Up here is a 10. There are sales happening. The prices are moving higher. We can look at black and white, the first ever full art cards. Black and white base set. Here's the Zekrom. January 2023, down here in the 10, down here in the 9. The 9 seeing some, it's seeing some turbulence, but it's not crashing. And the 10 is actually up, still seeing sales. And then we can, look at this Mew from Legendary Treasures Radiant Collection full art at the end of black and white, just before XY. And again, January 2023, 10 and the 9. The 9's very steady. The 10 is actually up. This lets you know the true conclusion that by and large, across the board in the Pokemon hobby, singles are massively up. They're still being sold. They're still sought after. Most of them are still 40% up to 100% plus up. Even the alt arts are up, very even or very little down. Only the Lugia and a couple other, lower level alt arts in the sets are actually quote unquote crashing, you could say. They're down 30, 40%. Everything else is strong for the year. So what's happening is these content creators are taking the last like 3 months after major upticks, right? After things go up, 100%, they're taking the next 3 months after things cool off and people are starting to take their profits and saying, look, things are crashing 30, 40%. Yeah, but it's because they're 100% up and still 60% up for the year. Guys, don't buy into these lies, all right? Don't get wrapped up into what the poor and the middle class and all the people who get left behind do and buy into the drama and the catchy thumbnails and the negativity, right? What do the wealthy do? They stay the course. They don't buy into that BS. They hold their assets. They continue to buy more assets when they see good entry points, and they drown out all the BS. They trust the numbers and the graphs. That's what you need to do. So whenever you see these kind of videos, make sure to fact check them. Make sure to call them out on their BS. Go look at the whole story. Go look at the long-term charts, the long-term data. Go look at the sales history. Go look at eBay analytics and see just how many Pokemon cards are selling daily. Surprise, surprise, news alert, spoiler alert. It's more than ever. There's more sales than ever in terms of quantity, and there's more sales than ever in terms of total amount, dollar amount. This is how strong the market is. This is the truth of the matter. That's all I got today, guys. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for my New Year's Eve stream. We will be giving away a Evolutions PSA 10 Reverse Holo Charizard. We will use a random comment picker. It will be picked live on stream. How you can enter that, I'm going to leave the link to the video in the description. It's sponsored by Low Popping. All you got to do, go to that video, comment on it, and follow Low Popping on his socials, which are listed in that video's description. As long as you do that, you're in the giveaway. If you win, all you got to do is reach out to me. Email me, send me your information, send me a screenshot that it is your account, and send me your mailing address. It will be shipped out to you free of charge. It's a giveaway. It's free. All right? So other than that, guys, I'll see you here tomorrow. And good luck and Godspeed in this market with this time of content creators really working against it. I'm out.